So guys, today we will discuss two chapters. One is protein and other is lipids. In a brief section, first of all, we discuss the protein. As we know that it is the most abundant macromolecule in living cells. It is composed of 50% of protein and more of their triglycerides. So, if you analyze a cell, it is mostly composed of 50% of protein of their dry weight. The largest content is water, but if you see the dry content, it is more than 50%. They are found in all cells and all parts of the cell. Protein occur in great variety, and a hundred of different protein may be present in a single cell. For example, a cell contain many different subcellular organelles, and they perform different function by using different protein. Protein may have many different biological roles. They act as a transporting machinery for the oxygen. For example, in the case of hemoglobin, they are act as a cellular architecture. For example, collagen, elastin, these are the structural protein which provide strength to our muscles, and in air a protein which is known as keratin, which is very useful protein and make the skeleton of animal tissue. Enzymes are also protein. They are the source of biochemical reactions occur in the presence of enzyme. So, ketones only occur in the presence of enzyme, and enzymes are protein in nature. For example, if you eat some diet, it is digested into simple molecules, and then that simple molecule further catabolized to provide energy. And all these processes occur in the presence of enzyme. They also have a metabolic regulation role. For example, glucagon and insulin. These are the two proteins which involve in many metabolic regulation processes. These are the hormones, glucagon and insulin, but they are protein. Defense arsenals, all protein like antibodies, IgG, IgM, IgE, IgD, these are the defense arsenal of any person and provide immunity against diseases. Similarly, hemoglobin is a carrier of oxygen and help in, yes,
Nothing, sir.
Hemoglobin carry oxygen to the lungs, oxygen to the tissues, and where they carry the carbon dioxide back to the lungs for oxygenation. So hemoglobin play an important role to transport oxygen and carbon dioxide. Similarly, if our bird's feathers are made up of a protein which is very important, keratin protein. Our nail hairs are made up of keratin. It is a structural protein which provides the structural stability to the many tissues of the body. Similarly, spider web is made up of a protein which is known as fibrin, which is a beta carotene type, which means it contains many beta sheets. So, spider web is made up of a protein which is known as fibrin, and it is also known as beta carotene. Similarly, tortoise cell is made up of a protein which is known as keratin. Nutritional milk protein is casein, which contains many essential amino acids, calcium and phosphate, and many other nutritional protein are also present in the milk, like lactalbumin. Some protein also act as a antibiotic. Mushroom poison like amanitin is also a protein which causes death of human body. Monalan, Monalan, a protein which is sweet in taste and used as an artificial sweetener like aspartame. Aspartame is made up of three things: aspartic acid, phenylalanine, and methyl ester. So the monoline and aspartame are used as a artificial sweetener for the diabetic patient. Here you can see spider web is made up of a protein which is known as fibrin. This is a firefly which produce light in the presence of a protein which is known as luciferase. Luciferase act on luciferin and catalyze the ATP into ATP and produce light in the luciferin protein. So, light production is also associated with the protein. Here you can see red blood cell which carry out the oxygen to the tissues and transport back carbon dioxide into the lungs. Here you can see that vertebrate which contain large amount of keratin in their structural component of hairs, scales, horn, wool, nails, and fingers. This Amanita phyllide is a poisonous mushroom which produce alpha amanitin, which is a poison and cause death to the human body. This is an artificial sweetener which is made up of three things: aspartic acid, phenylalanine, and methyl ester. And it is also used as a trade name of NutraSweet, and it is used as a artificial sweetener in diabetic mellitus. What is the definition of protein? Protein are the heterogeneous group of organic compounds, macromolecule you can say, which are made up of variable number of amino acids linked by peptide bond. As you know, the carbohydrate contain glycosidic linkage and lipids contain ester linkage and protein contain peptide bond. Here you can see the different molecular weight of different proteins with respect to their amino acid sequence. Here you can see amino acid are the building blocks of protein, and protein are characterized on the basis of their molecular weight. And mostly protein are made up of several thousand to several million Dalton molecular weight polypeptide. So you can say if a protein contain 50 amino acid, it is known as peptide, and if it contain more than 52,000 amino acid, it is known as polypeptide, and if more than 1000 amino acid, it is a true protein. So, as you know, 1 gram of carbohydrate protein produce 4 kilocalorie per gram energy, and fat produce 9.3 kilocalorie per gram. Alcohol produce 7 kilocalorie per gram. What are the unit of energy? 1 calorie is equal to the what? If we raise the temperature of 1 gram of water from 14.5 to 15.5, the heat consumed by the water is equal to 1 calorie. So, 1 kilocalorie contains 1000 calories. A joule is smaller unit as compared to calorie. A joule is the amount of energy needed to apply a Newton force over a distance of meter. For example, if you apply force of 1 meter to any object, it moves 1 meter ahead. Then the amount of energy consumed by the moving body is equal to 1 joule. 1 kilojoule is equal to 1000 joule, and 1 kilocalorie is now is equal to 4.184 kilojoule. What is nitrogenous balance? Nitrogenous balance occurs when the amount of nitrogen consumed equal to that of nitrogen excreted in the urine, sweat, and the feces. Mostly, the adult organism are the in the nitrogenous balance. It means the amount of nitrogen intake and excretion are in equal amount. What is positive nitrogenous balance? Positive nitrogenous balance occurs when intake exceeds than nitrogen excretion. It is observed in the situation in which tissue growth occurs, for example, in children, pregnancy, or during recovery from emaciation illness. What is a emaciation illness? The complete muscle mass loss during a starving condition, and body when body is recovering from a vaccination illness, it is in the positive nitrogenous balance. What is negative nitrogenous balance? If there is more losses of protein or nitrogen as compared to protein intake or nitrogen intake, this is known as negative nitrogenous balance. It is associated with inadequate dietary protein intake, lack of essential amino acid in our diet, as dealing physiological stress such as trauma, burns, illness, and surgery. During that condition, the protein digestion increase, so the losses are great. There are four nitrogenous auxiliary products which are produced in the body. It is urea, creatinine, uric acid, and ammonia. As you know, what is the unit in which we measure the mass of a protein? It is a Dalton. A Dalton is a unit of mass very nearly equal to that of a hydrogen. So, named after John Dalton, who developed the atomic theory of matter. It's 1 kilodalton contain 1,000 Dalton. So it is almost equal to 1 gram of hydrogen atom. What is the proportion of different elements in the protein? Carbon content is the largest, which is around 50 to 55%. Then oxygen 20 to 23%. Then nitrogen 15 to 18%. Then hydrogen is 6 to 8%. Then sulfur is 0 to 4%. What is nitrogenous factor? Almost on average, a protein contain 16 gram of nitrogen. So we have a nitrogen 100 by 16 is equal to nitrogen factor 6.25. When we are measuring the crude protein by delta, but we can apply the nitrogen factor with that factor to obtain crude protein value. Here is the central dogma of biology. DNA is converted into DNA by the replication process. Then DNA is transcribed into RNA by transcription process. Then the RNA is translated into protein in the translation process. This is the central dogma of biology and occurred in the eukaryotic organism. This is the importance of protein. We have already discussed. As you know that all proteins are made up of 20 amino acid, and amino acid are in two forms on the basis of amino group. If amino group present on the left side, it is L amino acid, and if amino group on the present on the right side, it is D amino acid. Mostly amino acid present in our body are L amino acid, are in our protein, it is L amino acid. So you can see we can classify the amino acid on the basis of three category: on the basis of side chain, on the basis of polarity, and on the basis of polarity, and the basis of polarity of side chain, and nutritional basis. So every amino acid contain three groups common. What are three groups common? One amino group, other carboxylic group, and hydrogen group. These three groups are common to every amino acid. Only side chain change and one amino acid is changed into another amino acid. So you can say if we change the side chain, then one amino acid is changed to another. Almost all the amino acid contain alpha chiral carbon except the glycine. Glycine show no optical activity. Rest of all amino acids show optical activity because they have chiral carbon or alpha carbon at the central position. This is the common structure of amino acid. I have already told you. Amino acid may have a positive or negative or zero charge. As you know, at physiological pH, amino acid is ionized. It contains both positive amino group and negative carboxylic group. So, as a result, the net charge on the amino acid is zero. This is known as vitrinic form of amino acid. Amino acid in blood and most tissue that should be present represented as in this form. Here you can see this is the vitrinic form of amino acid or neutral form of amino acid. At physiological pH around 7, this proton is removed and amino group is protonated and this negative is cancelled by positive. So this is known as a vitrinic form of amino acid. At very low pH, uh, the amino group get a positive charge and also the carboxylic group is the hydroxylated. So at very low pH, amino acid have a positive charge. At neutral pH, amino acid has a no charge. It has a positive amino group and a carboxylic negative. And at high pH, the carboxylic group is deficient of proton, so amino acid contain a negative charge. If there is some basic amino acid, then +2 charge at low pH, and if there is a an acidic amino acid, then -2 negative charge at high pH. Why? Because acidic amino acid contain an extra carboxylic group and basic amino acid contain an extra amino group. So, what peptide bond is formed when two amino acid is combined. It is known as dipeptide, and if three amino acid combined, it is known as tripeptide. And if less than 10 amino acid combined, it is known as oligopeptide. And if more than 50 or 10 amino acid, it is known as peptide. And if more than 50 amino acid, it is known as polypeptide. So after they incorporated into the peptide, the individual amino acid are referred to as amino acid residue. Any additional amino acid in the protein is known as amino acid residue. How the peptide bond form when the carboxylic group of amino acid and amino group of another amino acid combines, then hydrogen is removed, hydroxyl group is removed from the carboxylic and hydrogen is removed from the amino end in the form of water. And this carbonyl group and this NH group remain during the peptide bond. So this is known as vinyl alanine. If we make a peptide bond between valine and alanine. So vinyl alanine. So this bond is always in trans configuration. What is the meaning? Hydrogen in either upper position or lower position, and carbonyl they are also in opposite direction. And this double bond is resonating between CO and Cn. CO and Cn. That's why these resonating double bond provide polarity to peptide bond and it provides strength to the peptide bond. So These are the characteristics of peptide bond. It contains partial double bond characteristics. It is rigid and planar transconfiguration and uncharged but polar. This peptide bond is uncharged but polar. Almost all proteins are made up of 22 standard amino acids, and there are 300 naturally occurring amino acids. Only 20 or 22 amino acids make the protein whose genetic code is discovered. There are two types of amino acid. One is standard amino acid, which code for a protein, mean it has a genetic code. And what are non-standard amino acid, which do not have their genetic code, and they comes after the post-translational modification. As we know, there are classification of amino acid on the basis of structure of R group, on the basis of polarity of R group, on the basis of nutrition. So, first of all, we classify the amino acid on the basis of aliphatic side chain. So, glycine contain a hydrogen group on their side chain, so it will make CH2. That's why it is placed in the aliphatic category. So alanine contain methyl group on their side chain, valine contain propyl group in their side chain, leucine contain butyl group on their side chain, and isoleucine contain isobutyl group in their side chain. So all these amino acids contain methyl groups, so that's why it is known as aliphatic side chain containing amino acid. Then we have hydroxyl group containing amino acid. The amino acid which contain hydroxyl group on their side chain. For example, serine CH2OH, threonine CHOH CH3, then tyrosine, benzene ring, then CH2 benzene ring, and then hydroxyl group. So these three amino acids are hydroxyl group containing amino acid, and they are very important in post-translational modification and regulation of enzyme through phosphorylation and dephosphorylation. Phosphorylation and dephosphorylation only occur in hydroxyl group containing amino acid with side chain containing sulfur atoms. Cysteine and methionine, and these are the two amino acids which contain sulfur group CH2SH and CH2CH. Rest of three groups are same in all amino acids. That's why it is indicated in a blue color. Only the side chain is changed. Here you can see cysteine contains CH2SH, and methionine contains CH2CH2SCH3. The amino acid which contain acidic are amide groups. Aspartic acid contains CH2. Why the acidic amino acid are known as acidic amino acid? Because they have extra carboxylic group in their side chain. So that's why they are known as acidic amino acid. One carboxylic group is already present and one extra carboxylic group is there. That's why they are known as acidic amino acid, and they are a polar amino acid. So this is a aspartic acid contain one carboxylic group, and if this group is amminated, mean amino group in the aspartic acid is added on the carboxylic group in place of hydroxyl group, then this change into asparagine. If a glutamic acid contains two methyl group and then carboxylic group, so if a amino group is present on the glutamic acid extra group or carboxylic group, then this is known as a glutamic. Okay. Then we have a basic side chain containing amino acid, mean which are basic. So why they are basic? Because they contain extra amino group on their side chain. Mostly acidic amino acid contain negative charge, and basic amino acid contain positive charge because they have extra amino group on their side chain. This is the structure of arginine: CH2, 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 NH, CNH2, NH2. Then next we have a lysine which contains CH2, 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 then amino group, and this is the histidine which contains amino group in their ring structure. Then we have a aromatic side chain containing amino acid which is known as tyrosine, histidine. This is the histidine structure. Then we have phenylalanine, CH2, again benzene. Then we have tyrosine, which if we hydroxylase the phenylalanine, it is changed into tyrosine. Then we have tryptophan, which contain ring. So one amino acid is not in any category. It is not amino acid. It is an amino acid. Why? Because this last methyl group make bond with amino group, and one hydrogen is removed from that amino group. That's why it is not amino group. It is amino group. So proline is not an amino acid. It is an amino acid. It is an amino acid. Then classification of amino acid on the basis of charge on the side chain. So as you know that nine amino acids do not contain any charge group on their side chain. So they are non-polar side chain containing amino acid. Glycine contain hydrogen, alanine contain methyl, valine contain propyl, leucine butyl, isoleucine isobutyl group, phenylalanine this phenyl group. Then tryptophan contain indole ring, and this methionine sulfur group is a hide by methyl group. Then this proline is a methyl group attached to the amino group. Then uncharged polar side chain. These are uncharged but become charged after changing the pH to the pK3 value. So serine contain a hydroxyl group. That's why it is a uncharged but polar. Threonine contain a hydroxyl group, uncharged but polar. Tyrosine contain a hydroxyl group, uncharged but polar. Asparagine might contain mide group, glutamine contain a mide group. Cysteine contains sulfhydryl group, that's why it's known as polar amino acid but uncharged. So six amino acids are uncharged but polar. Then we have a polar amino acid. Two acidic and three basic amino acids are polar side chain containing amino acid. At low pH, cysteine residue make disulfide linkage and it is changed into cysteine. And mostly it happens when we have abnormality in cysteine metabolism or methionine metabolism. So all amino acids show absorption level at maximum absorption level at 280 nanometers. So if a protein contains more aromatic ring containing amino acid, so they give a maximum absorption at 280 nanometers. These are some questions. Aromatic amino acid having basic property is histidine. All of the following amino acids take part in protein formation except ornithine. Ornithine is a non-standard amino acid and present in urea cycle. So it is a non-standard amino acid, so it never take part in protein formation, but it is the part of a urea cycle. Which of the following is not amino acid? Thymine. Thymine क्या है? एक नाइट्रोजनस बेस है, ठीक है? तो थायमीन क्या है? ये एक नहीं है. Which of the following amino acid is optically inactive? Glycine, because it contains two hydrogen groups, one in the side chain and one is two same group. It means there is no chiral carbon, so it is not optically active. The protein present in air is keratin. Amino acid basic properties of amino acid. I have already told you. This I have already told you that with the passage of time, pH change, the charge in the amino acid get changed. So, what are the importance of amino acids? Some amino acids act as a neurotransmitter. For example, glutamic acid produce GABA, which act as a neurotransmitter. So, some of the amino acids produce neurotransmitter are hormone, which are very important in the regulation. For example, tryptophan produce serotonin, which control our sleeping pattern and sometimes emotions. Phenylalanine produce epinephrine, which is a hormone of fight and flight. Non-standard amino acids which are not involved in protein formation but become the part of protein after post-translational modification. For example, this 5-hydroxy lysine and proline is made is present in the collagen. Then N-methyl lysine present in myosin. Gamma carboxyglutamate protein is a blood clotting protein. Here you can see some non-standard amino acids. This ornithine and citrulline. These are those two non-standard amino acids which are present in the which is present in the urea cycle. Around 300 amino acids are present in our body, but only 20 or 22 amino acids are the part of protein because they are the standard amino acids. Then the classification of the amino acids on the basis of nutrition. Nutrition on the basis of nutrition, amino acids are classified into essential amino acid and non-essential amino acid. Essential amino acid are those amino acids which cannot be synthesized in our body, and we have to take it from diet. That are the essential amino acids. So mostly animal protein are contain essential amino acid. Plant protein have a missing one or a few amino acid. So animal protein are the major source of essential amino acid. Plant protein have some part of amino acid missing. So these are the essential amino acid. We have formula for that essential amino acid. PPV TIMHAL. PPV TIMHAL. P mean phenylalanine, T mean tryptophan, V mean valine, T mean threonine, I mean soleucine, M mean methionine, H mean histidine, A mean arginine, L leucine, L lysine. So these are essential amino acids present in our body. These are the essential amino acids present in our body. So arginine and histidine are the conditionally essential or semi-essential amino acids. Why? Because their requirement are increased during growth, but after adulteration, there is a less need of arginine and histidine. During growth, histone protein required in large quantity, so that's why they are for the formation of chromosomes. So that's why they arginine and histidine are required only the time of growth, but after adult stage, their requirement reduce. Non-essential amino acids which are synthesized in our body, so they are not our concern. All these amino acids play a major role in the regulation and functioning of our body. For example, arginine, histidine make histone protein, isoleucine, leucine, lysine. They are very important for our stamina, our muscle growth. Methionine is a source of sulfur, and it is also provide methyl group to many recipient molecule by making same bodies. Phenylalanine is very important because it produces tyrosine and many neurotransmitter like dopa, epinephrine, norepinephrine. Threonine is a hydroxyl group containing amino acid and it provide regulation of enzymes. Tryptophan is very important because it produces serotonin hormone and niacin vitamin. Valine is also very important for muscle mass and stamina of the body. So these are the some functions of the essential amino acid. Then classification of protein. There are four way of classification of protein on the basis of physicochemical properties, on the basis of biological function, on the basis of nutrition and overall shape. So, on the basis of physicochemical properties, proteins are classified into simple protein, compound protein, and dry protein. Simple protein are those proteins which are only made up of amino acids. These are the albumin, globulin, globins, prolamine, histone, protamine, prolamine, albuminides. These are the simple proteins. That means they only made up of amino acids. So you have to learn by heart the properties of these protein by yourself. This prolamine is very important, prolamine and protamine, because these are the nutritional protein of plants, and we obtain from the plants, like gliadin of wheat and zein of maize. These are nutritional protein. They are solubilized in 70 to 80% ethanol, but insoluble in water. Histone are the basic protein, and they attach with DNA by ionic bonding or electrostatic interaction. Then this is very very important in the many exams point of view. Protein. These are present in sperms and nucleoprotein and have a positive charge, and they are the basic protein and symbol histone, but unlike them they are soluble in hydroxide. Albuminide are the structural protein and present in animals, not in plants. Compound protein are those protein which contain amino acid and extra prosthetic group in the form of DNA, RNA, phosphoric acid. For example, nucleoprotein is made up of DNA and histone protein. Phosphoprotein, casein protein is made up of calcium phosphate and protein. Lipoprotein, HDL, LDL, chylomicrons are made up of protein and lipids. Glycoprotein contain protein plus carbohydrate, like many our receptors, and immunity protein like IgG, IgM, IgD. They are made up of glycoprotein. Chromoprotein which produce color, and metalloprotein which contain metal ion as a cofactor. Then we have dry protein. Dry protein have two categories. One is primary derived protein, and second is the secondary derived protein. So, derived protein are those protein which are derived from the hydrolysis of simple or compound protein. And there are two ways of production of derived protein. One is primary derived protein, and other is secondary derived protein. Primary derived protein, if we obtain the protein by one single step reaction by some physical forces like heat, UV, and X-rays, acid, and alkali, this is known as a primary derived protein. Like fibrin from fibrinogen, myosin from myosin, and adenosine from adenosine. This is one step reaction proteins. So that's why they are known as primary derived protein. And if proteins are obtained by the sequence wise hydrolysis of protein by enzyme, this is known as secondary derived protein. Like protein is changed into proteins, then metaprotein, then proteosis, then peptide, then peptones, peptide, and then minus. Classification according to function. Enzymes are also protein. They are known as catalytic units. So ribonuclease and trypsin cut the protein. Ribonuclease cut the RNA. Transport protein, hemoglobin carry out the transport of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Serum, albumin transport carbon, fatty acid and other molecule. Myoglobin store oxygen and transport oxygen. Lipoprotein carry out the transport of fats, cholesterol ester, and many other molecules. Nutrient protein and storage protein. Gliadin is a nutrient protein of wheat. Ovalbumin is a nutrient protein of egg. Casein is a nutrient protein of milk. Ferritin is a iron storing protein. Myoglobin is also a oxygen storing protein. Contractile and metal protein, actin and myosin, tubulin and dynein. Actin, myosin have a role in the muscle contraction. Tubulin and dynein have an endocrine role. Structural protein, keratin, fibrin, collagen, elastin, and proteoglycans, they are very important for our tissue formation, muscle mass formation, our nail formation, and our hair formation, and our many other defense protein. All antibodies, fibrinogen, thrombin, they antibodies play important roles to kill the foreign particle. Fibrinogen, thrombin play an important role in blood clotting. Bacteria toxin produce disease. Snake cause death, and ricin is a poison. It is also a poisonous protein cause death. Then regulatory protein, the hormones are regulatory protein, insulin and glucagon, growth hormone, corticotropin, and repressors molecule are all protein which regulate our body processes. Nutritional base classification. There are two classification of nutritional base. One grade one protein and a grade two protein. Grade one protein contain a nutritional value is more than 80%, and grade two protein less than 70%. Grade one protein obtained from the animal sources, and grade two protein from the plant sources. So biological value if more than 70, it is or 80%, it is grade one protein, egg, beef, milk, and fish. Plant protein, if biological value is less than 70, then it is a grade two protein. Soybean meal 70, 67%, potato 60, and whole bread contain 30%. Then the classification of protein on the basis of their shape, it is a globular protein and fibrous protein. Globular protein are soluble in water, fibrous protein are insoluble in water. Globular protein have axial ratio less than 10 or 3 than or less than 3, uh, less than 3. Mostly it contain less than 3 axial ratio. What is the axial ratio? The ratio between length and breadth, it is known as a axial ratio. So fibrous protein have axial ratio mostly more than 10, and if axial ratio exists between 3 to 10, it may be globular protein or fibrous protein, or it contain a dual function. So globular protein are in three-dimensional structure, and are the mostly functional protein, and fibrous protein are the mostly contain a secondary structure, and alpha helices and beta fluted sheet, and they are mostly structural protein. How we can see the structure of protein? We can easily see the structure of protein by X-ray crystallography, or NMR. In NMR, we can easily visualize the three-dimensional structure of a protein, because X-ray and nuclear magnetic radiation are more intense as compared to X, so the bending pattern become more clear during NMR. Then the protein classification on the basis of structure: primary protein, secondary protein, tertiary protein, quaternary protein. Primary protein contain number and sequence of amino acids along the polypeptide chain. It is known as primary structures of protein. Primary structure of large number of polypeptide have been demonstrated. Insulin contain 51 amino acid. Ribonuclease contain 120 amino acid. One alpha chain it contain primary structure of hemoglobin 141 amino acid. Beta chain contain 146 amino acid. Oxytocin contain 8 amino acid, and calcitonin contain 32 amino acid. And amino acid are mostly represented in as a three-letter code or a single letter code. If three-letter code, it is separated by a dash, and if one letter code, it is separated as a space. And if an ambiguous amino acid present, which we do not know what is that amino acid, then it may be alanine, glycine, and tyrosine that you indicate in a smaller brackets. Candy structure contain two elements which are alpha helix and beta pleated sheet, and they are mostly stabilized by the hydrogen bondings. Okay. Every alpha helix, one helical turn contains 3.6 amino acid, and what is the pitch of that amino acid? It is around 0.54 nanometer, and one amino acid to another amino acid distance is zero point 0.1 nanometer. And hydrogen bond is formed from one minor group to other carboxylic group at the distance of 4 minus. Then beta plated sheet, they are not helical, but they are a sheet-like, ribbon-like structure, and they are also stabilized by hydrogen bonding. They may be parallel if one minor is added, make bond to the two minor is added of the second chain. So that hydrogen bonding is less strong in parallel because the bonding distance is more, but in the anti-parallel beta plated sheet, the carbonyl group and amino group are exactly in the linear section, so they have a strong hydrogen bonding. In super Scandi structure, many Scandi structure are placed on one another by loops and bands. And loops or bands are mostly made up of polar amino acid. So what is tertiary structure of protein? Overall, three-dimensional structure of the protein is known as tertiary structure of protein, and it is stabilized by five forces. One is a peptide bond, other is a disulfide linkage, then hydrophobic interaction, and electrostatic interaction, and hydrogen interaction. The interaction between cysteine and cysteine residue, it is disulfide bond or strong covalent bond. Then peptide bond is present between the amino acid, and hydrophobic interaction exists between the hydrophobic amino acid, and electrostatic interaction between acidic and basic amino acid, and hydrogen bond is formed between hydroxyl group containing amino acid and any acidic or basic amino acid. So there are five interaction exist between tertiary structure of a protein. A domain is a particular section of a protein which perform a physical or a chemical task. This is known as domain. Quaternary structure of a protein. If protein is made up of multiple subunits of a protein, it is known as quaternary structure of protein. For example, we have two protein. One is hemoglobin, which contain two alpha and two beta subunit, and other is myoglobin, which only transport or store oxygen. So myoglobin is a tertiary structure containing protein, but hemoglobin contain quaternary structure. Why? Because it contains more than one unit of a protein. So they also have a same interaction as we have tertiary structure of a protein. Here you can see lactate dehydrogenase is a tetramer which is made up of four subunit protein, and creatine phosphokinase is made up of two protein, and it is a dimer. That's all about your principle of biochemistry protein section. If you have any question, then ask. If you like that video, also subscribe that.